Alan Jernigan is a manager for the Commerce, Insurance, and Economic Development Task Force at the American Legislative Exchange Council, ALEC for short. He's on our AT&T line, our radio stage right now, as once again the concept of right to work takes the stage in Michigan, thanks to Senator Albert, who introduced Senate Bill 436. I think we spoke to him just a couple of days ago about this. In the meantime, Mr. Jernigan, welcome to the airwaves.
Thanks for having me.
So we didn't have right to work, and then it was very dramatic a decade ago when right to work was instilled in Michigan, and then it got overturned with the current administration. And now there is a bill to restore right to work in the Michigan Senate. What is right to work if somebody's hearing this for the first time, and what happens next?
Yeah, so simply right to work is just giving an employee the right to choose whether they want to financially support or join a union without an effect on their employment status. So just really letting them choose the path and option that's best for them. As far as what next, the repeal of right to work in Michigan was the first time a state has repealed that protection in nearly 60 years. Michigan can right the ship with leadership that prioritizes labor freedom and reform, and really returns the power back to the workers rather than the unions.
Basically, you get a job and it's a union job or a union shop, I guess is what they kind of call it. I don't know. And they say, all right, yeah, you can have the job, but you have to pay the labor union thousands of dollars to join, and you don't have a choice in the matter. That's how it is right now? Simple as that?
Yeah, without right to work for private workers, they can be compelled to join a union essentially as a condition of being employed. So right to work just takes that away and gives them the choice on they can make their own decision. They're welcome to join the union if they'd like, but if they don't want to, they also don't have to or pay any sort of dues for that.
Some people might want to. They might see some benefit from it. What would those benefits be?
Well, some people like the protection of the overall bargaining power that comes with the union, but, it really allows workers to be individuals if they choose not to join one and argue and kind of advocate on behalf of themselves on what's best for their specific situation, which empowers the workers and gives them kind of that word I keep coming back to, the freedom to kind of find their own version of the American dream.
So the initial contract usually that they enter was negotiated by the union, so they do get the benefit of that if it's presumably a good contract for the worker. But I'm curious to know, why is it the government's business, why is it the state legislature's business to mandate that somebody join a union in order to have a job?
I think that's a great point. I'm not sure why it would be. I think it's really kind of some government interference getting in the way of just true, simple protections for workers.
And why is it presumed that Democrats support being compelled to join a union as opposed to a right-to-work situation?
I think it's, in my mind, it's kind of a common sense issue, but I think for a lot of it, it's just kind of where priorities lie, and whether that be letting the government kind of put the thumb on the scale in more situations, or kind of the more free market approach, which is allowing the businesses and market to play itself out.
There was a study released called States That Work. Nice play on words there. A labor policy roadmap across America, and it analyzed the 50 states and the worker policies. What about those states that have the right to work for workers? The right to choose, basically, is what it is, whether you want to join a union or not. How are they doing? And, it's probably apples and oranges in some cases, but what can we learn about the states that do have right to work?
Well, as you mentioned, we recently did a report where we looked at key ALEC model policies across all 50 states and ranked the states on what pro-worker policies they had. So Michigan finished ranked 35th out of 50, but interestingly enough, if they were to reinstate right to work, they'd move all the way up to 22nd. And kind of following the trend of just interesting on how well right to work states performed in this report is there are 26 right to work states across the country, and the lowest ranked one of them came in this report was 28th.
Where's Michigan?
Michigan's 35th overall.
And do you believe that if Senate Bill 436 were to pass somehow and right to work were to be restored in Michigan, that Michigan's position would improve?
Absolutely. If all stayed the same now and Michigan just added right to work, they would move up to 22nd. So a big jump.
All right, you have it there in the statistics and the facts. Thank you very much.